What would you do if the person who destroyed your career offered you $10 million to disappear? Maya Chen stared at the contract on the glass table. Sebastian Kane sat across from her in his penthouse office, his face unreadable. 24 hours ago, she'd been a rising investigative journalist. Then her exposé on Kane Industries vanished from every server. Her editor fired her with a settlement she hadn't signed, and her apartment lease was mysteriously terminated. Now the billionaire himself wanted her gone. The scent of his cologne, cedar and smoke, made her want to throw the fountain pen at his perfectly sculpted face. He slid the pen closer. 10 million to relocate overseas, sign an NDA, never write again. She should take it. Her mother's medical bills were drowning her. But Maya had spent 6 months documenting Kane's offshore accounts, his shell companies, his perfectly legal but morally bankrupt tax schemes. She'd lost everything for that story. Sebastian cleared his throat. His eyes, slate gray and calculating, betrayed nothing. But his hand trembled slightly as he lifted his scotch. Just once. She almost missed it. That's when Maya realized something that would change everything. Sebastian Kane wasn't threatening her. He was terrified of her. She set down the pen.
No.
His jaw tightened. Miss Chen, be reasonable. This is more money than you'll make in 20 years. Then why do you look like you're about to throw up? The question landed like a punch. Sebastian stood abruptly, turning to the window. The Seattle skyline glittered behind him, 40 stories of separation from the regular world. When he spoke again, his voice was different, quieter, almost human. Because you're the first person in 5 years who actually looked. Maya's pulse quickened. Looked at what? The money. He turned back to her. For the first time, she saw the shadows under his eyes, the tension in his shoulders. Every transaction you documented. Did you notice the pattern? She had millions flowing out of Kane Industries every quarter through a maze of subsidiaries. She'd assumed embezzlement or laundering. I noticed you're bleeding money. I'm hunting someone. Sebastian moved to a safe hidden behind a painting. He extracted a folder, hesitated, then handed it to her. Inside were surveillance photos, financial records, and a single name, Marcus Delacroix. Maya's blood went cold. Delacroix was a ghost in financial circles. Rumors of human trafficking, weapons deals, politicians in his pocket. Untouchable. He killed my sister, Sebastian said. 18 months ago. Anna was investigating him for the State Department. They called it a car accident. His voice cracked on the last word. I've spent every resource I have trying to expose him. Every shell company you found, every offshore account, I built them to mirror his network. To understand how he moves money so I can trace it back to something prosecutable. Maya looked up at him. The ruthless billionaire facade had crumbled. This was a brother drowning in grief, burning his empire for revenge. Why destroy my story? She asked. Because Delacroix has people everywhere. Your exposé would have painted a target on your back. He would have assumed you were working for me or knew too much. Sebastian sat down heavily. I've had 4 investigators disappear. I can't let that happen to someone else. The confession hung between them like smoke. Maya's hands shook as she closed the folder. Every instinct screamed this was manipulation. But she'd spent 6 months studying Sebastian Kane. She knew his tells, the micro-expressions he couldn't quite control. He was telling the truth. Show me everything, Maya heard herself say. Sebastian's head snapped up. Absolutely not. Take the money. Disappear. Live your life. You need a journalist. Someone who knows how to build an airtight case from fragments. She leaned forward. And I need a story that matters. My mother needs treatment I can't afford. We both have ghosts. So stop trying to protect me and let me help you hunt yours. The silence stretched. Outside, rain began to fall, drops racing down the floor-to-ceiling windows like tears. 3 months, Sebastian finally said. We have 3 months before the statute of limitations expires on the financial crimes I can actually prove. After that, Delacroix walks free. Then we better not waste time. They worked through the night. Maya spread documents across the conference table while Sebastian pulled up encrypted files. His security team brought coffee at 2 a.m. By dawn, Maya had found the thread. A series of shell company transfers that coincided with known trafficking routes. Here, she pointed to the screen. Delacroix doesn't move money randomly. He's following a shipping schedule. If we can access the manifests, we'd need someone inside the Port Authority. Sebastian ran a hand through his dark hair, leaving it disheveled. He looked younger suddenly, less like a corporate titan and more like a man who hadn't slept in months. Everyone I've contacted either works for Delacroix or ends up dead. Maya pulled out her phone. I know someone, but she'll want immunity and protection. Done. Over the next 2 weeks, they fell into a rhythm. Maya worked from Sebastian's penthouse, ostensibly his new consultant. The cover story kept her safe, but proximity bred something dangerous. She learned he took his coffee black with 1 sugar, that he played piano at midnight when the pressure got too heavy, fingers moving over keys like prayers, that he'd turned down a Senate appointment because it would slow the investigation. Sebastian learned she talked to her mother every morning, code switching to Mandarin, voice softening in ways it never did in English, that she bit her thumbnail when thinking, that her laugh, rare and genuine, could light up a room. The chemistry was undeniable and completely inappropriate. We can't, Maya said one night when Sebastian's hand lingered too long helping her with her coat. I know, but he didn't move away. This is grief and proximity and adrenaline. When it's over, I'll still know that you're the bravest person I've ever met. His voice was rough. That you gave up safety to help a stranger chase justice for a woman you never knew. Maya's breath caught. Sebastian. I know, he repeated. Then he stepped back, putting professional distance between them. Tomorrow we meet with your contact. Focus on that. But that night, Maya couldn't sleep. She found Sebastian in his office, staring at a photo of his sister. Anna Kane had her brother's eyes, bright with intelligence and mischief. Tell me about her, Maya said softly. Sebastian did. Stories poured out. Anna teaching him to sail, Anna at his college graduation, Anna calling him out when he got too caught up in business. The sister who'd kept him human. She'd like you, he said finally. She always said I needed someone who'd tell me when I was being an arrogant ass. Maya smiled sadly. I have a younger brother. He's why I became a journalist. Someone had to document the truth for people who couldn't fight for themselves. The moment crystallized between them, fragile and precious. 2 people bound by loss and purpose, fighting not to want what they couldn't have. Then Maya's phone shattered the silence. Her Port Authority contact was dead.
Car accident.
Same method as Anna Kane. Sebastian went white. He knows. Delacroix knows you're helping me. Then we move faster. Maya was already pulling up files. We use what she gave us before.
No.
You're done. I'm putting you on a plane tonight. Excuse me. This was a mistake. I should never have involved you. Sebastian grabbed his phone. My security team will take you somewhere safe until... Until what? You martyr yourself trying to take down Delacroix alone? Maya stood, fury and fear warring in her chest. I'm not leaving. You don't have a choice. I have every choice. This is my story now. My fight. They stood toe to toe, both breathing hard. The air crackled with tension, fear, and something neither would name. Sebastian broke first. I can't lose someone else. Please, Maya. I can't. The raw plea undid her. Maya reached up, cupping his face. For one heartbeat, the world narrowed to the 2 of them. Then reality crashed back. We finish this together, she whispered. Or not at all. The next 48 hours were a blur. Maya and Sebastian worked with federal prosecutors, building their case from the fragments they had. Delacroix's lawyers were already moving, filing motions to dismiss. The window was closing. On the final day before the statute expired, Maya found it. A single email Anna Kane had sent to Sebastian hours before she died. He'd never opened it, too painful after losing her. Inside was a password and a warning. If you're reading this, I'm dead. The evidence is in the last place he'd look. Where we scattered Mom's ashes. Sebastian went rigid. The summer house. In Friday Harbor. They took his helicopter. The flight was tense and silent. Maya watched Sebastian's jaw work, knuckles white on the armrests. She reached over, lacing her fingers through his. He squeezed back so hard it hurt. The house was small, nestled in trees overlooking the water. Sebastian led her to the dock where a brass plaque commemorated his mother. He knelt, pressing the plaque's edge. It swung open, revealing a waterproof compartment. Inside was a hard drive. Back at the penthouse, they loaded the files. Transaction records, photos, recorded conversations. Anna Kane had documented everything. Delacroix's entire operation laid bare. She did it, Sebastian breathed. She actually did it. Maya was already calling the prosecutor. We need an emergency hearing. Tonight. It happened fast. Federal agents moved on Delacroix's properties simultaneously. The evidence was overwhelming. By midnight, Marcus Delacroix was in custody. Sebastian stood at his window watching the city lights. He'd won. His sister was avenged. So why did he feel hollow? You're thinking about what comes next, Maya said, joining him. I spent 18 months with only one purpose. Now it's done and I don't know who I am without it. You're the man who burned his empire for justice, who protected people he didn't know, who still plays piano at midnight. Maya turned to face him. You're someone worth knowing. I dragged you into danger, cost you your career. You gave me the most important story I'll ever write. And you trusted me when you didn't have to. She smiled. Besides, my career's not over. 3 publishers are bidding on my book deal. Turns out taking down an international criminal is good for business. Sebastian laughed, surprised. Of course you got a book deal. What about you? Kane Industries needs rebuilding. Actually, I'm stepping down as CEO, putting Anna's name on a foundation, funding investigative journalism. He met her eyes. Seemed like something she'd want. The air shifted. All the tension they'd been suppressing for 3 months pressed down like weather. Sebastian, Maya started. I know we said we couldn't, that it was just circumstances and adrenaline. He moved closer. But I've never been good at lying to myself. What are you saying? I'm saying that when you leave tomorrow, I'm going to miss the way you bite your thumbnail when you think. The way you code switch with your mother. The way you look at the world like it's worth saving. His voice dropped. I'm saying that proximity might have started this, but it's not why I'm falling in love with you. Maya's heart hammered. We barely know each other outside of crisis. Then let's fix that. Dinner. Normal conversation. No criminals or deadlines. What if it doesn't work? What if we only made sense in the chaos? Sebastian smiled, and for the first time since they'd met, it reached his eyes. What if it does? What if the best thing to come from all this darkness is finding someone who sees me, really sees me and stays anyway? Maya thought about the girl who'd needed a story, about the man who'd needed redemption, about how sometimes the wrong people find each other at exactly the right time. Okay, she whispered. Dinner. But I'm paying. Billionaires don't get to buy everything. Deal. He kissed her then, soft and careful like she was something precious. Outside, Seattle glittered with possibility. Inside, 2 broken people chose to be whole together. 18 months later, Maya stood in the Anna Kane Memorial newsroom, watching young journalists chase truth with the same fire that had driven her. Her book, The Vanishing Act, was a bestseller. Her mother's treatment was working. And tonight, she was going home to a man who still made her coffee wrong but remembered how she took her tea. Sebastian had sold the penthouse, preferring their smaller place in Capitol Hill. He'd kept his promise about the foundation, kept his promise about choosing her every single day. Her phone buzzed. A text from him. Piano recital at 8. I learned the song you hummed in your sleep. Maya smiled. Some love stories started with desperation. Theirs started with a refusal. She'd said no to his money, no to his protection, no to the easy way out, and found yes to everything that mattered. The best revenge wasn't destroying the man who'd wronged you. It was building something beautiful from the wreckage. It was choosing connection over safety. It was learning that sometimes the person trying to save you is really asking to be saved. Maya locked her office and headed into the rain, toward the life she'd fought for, toward the man who'd trusted her with his broken pieces and let her keep her sharp edges. The contract still sat in her desk drawer. 10 million to disappear. She'd never needed it less. Would you have taken the money or stayed to fight? Tell me in the comments. If your team choosing justice over safety, subscribe.